Hello, I'm Anthony Sunquist, and I'm here to tell you that you should invest your money. So, everybody knows what fiat currency is, every country has it, and there's lots of different things you can do with it. Most people use it to supply their wants and needs, and a lot of people have cash on hand, or they keep a credit or debit card, and many people also use banks or credit unions or trust companies to uh, keep their money safe and secure away from view, and it just turns into a number that you can look at and see. You don't have visual confirmation that you have that money. The bank just tells you that you have that money there, and you believe them. Pretty much, it's that they owe you that money because you put that amount of money in. Now, when you check that number, it doesn't really go up and down unless you're doing something to your bank account, withdrawing or depositing funds. But what most people don't know is that in the background, the banks are investing your money and making money off of your money being in your bank account. It is not just sitting there. That money is being used by the bank that you are putting it in, because you are giving them rights to do that with their money by making a bank account. And you put money in that bank and they invest it and they make money off of your money. So your money is working for them. Now, if everybody remembers the Great Depression, what happened? People went to the banks to get their money out because the stock market was crashing and the banks didn't have their money. Nobody could get their money out. Everybody went up in arms. And that same thing could still happen today. Not in probably the same way, because there's a history of it now, but mostly the fact that it's just a possibility shows you that you need to take control of your money yourself and get it out of the hands of the bank and get it back in the people's hands. And nowadays, in 2021, there are so many things that are popping up as possible avenues for investments, and it's a common fear, the fear of missing out when we think about a lot of different investments. When you look at the stock market and for example Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, there's a lot of man, I wish that I would have invested back when it was a couple dollars. And it's okay to feel like that. A lot of people feel like that. A lot of people were not on top of it, or did not believe in it, did not believe it had any value back then. And goes to show those people. And now we have that vision of what's possible. So it's this time now that you need to get in on the ground floor of these other projects so that you can miss that fear of missing out and make some money off of these trends that are happening, because there's so much going on right now and we should all be getting in while we can. And while saying that, doesn't mean just throw your money into any new project that pops up. You definitely need to research what you put your money into and figure out if it's something you believe in and if it's even a trustworthy company to put your money into, especially with a lot of these cryptocurrencies that are popping up. Definitely need to be careful, but there are some valuable projects that are actually doing like real world things and making real solutions happen through the blockchain technology. And that's just one of the avenues that you can invest in, and that's a brand new one that a lot of people have that fear of missing out due to like Bitcoin and all that. But there's a lot going on. It's just the beginning, and you can make money off of cryptocurrencies, off of real estate, off of just holding money in a separate account that's made to accrue interest and not a bank account, through cryptocurrencies and tokens most of the time, which is something that I partake in, where I have an account that's out in the UK and I buy cryptocurrencies and I send it to this account and it accrues interest, way more interest than it would be if it was in a regular bank account. And then I can also from that account make term loans, and then I can access my money for like a month or 3 months depending on the term, and then it accrues more interest. So it just is working for me. It's basically the same as a bank, but it's working for me, and I can see the interest going up. And if you look at a bank account, you usually are only getting like a penny a year or less, depending on how much you have in your bank account. And a lot of people don't want to invest. They just want their money to be secure because there is a risk of losing lots of money when you invest if you don't, especially if you don't know what you're doing. But also at the same time, if there's no risk, then there's no reward. If you don't invest your money and you just sit on it, or you just let it sit in the bank and you let the bank invest your money and make money off of your money instead of you making money off of your money, then yeah, maybe you have more security. But in a sense, in essence, at the end of the day, you're locking your money away in a cubicle compared to sending it out to the field. And money is a dynamic individual. If we're gonna compare it to a person, it needs to be out in the field. It's an agent. It needs to go do things. It wants to work for you, so you need to let it work for you. You just gotta send it on the right missions, and don't let it sit in some bank and get dusty. Get out there and learn what you're doing, because that's what all these banks did, and that's why they are banks, because somebody figured it out. Like, we need people to give us their money so we can make more money off of the money that we have, because we know what we're doing. So go figure out what you're doing.